Second. So hi everyone. Thank you all so much for coming and joining us for the first Freshman Caucus debate. This year we have an overwhelmingly huge total of 16 campaigns for Freshman Caucus, which is something that I've never seen happen in my time in the BOE. So we're really excited that this many incoming freshmen are excited about helping improve our student experience at Stuyvesant, especially in these challenging times. Today we have our first round of 8 campaigns debating. Today we're joined by Raymond Yang and Matthew Q, 2 of our debate moderators who are going to be asking you guys questions and all that. So Matthew and Raymond are going to go ahead and explain to you all how this is going to work, and then we're going to get started with the debate. So yeah, I'm going to pass it on to them too.
Hi guys, so general outlines for how this will work. Raymond and I will take turns alternating asking questions. You'll have 90 seconds to answer. Preferably we'll keep track of time, but you should also time yourselves just so you know how much time you have left. We'll make warnings when you have 20 seconds left. We'll do a clap reaction like this, all right? On the Zoom, either me or Raymond will do it. And so you'll look for that. That will signal that you have 20 seconds left. And then we will do a thumbs up reaction here when you are out of time, and just try to wrap it up. You don't have to like immediately cut off, but just try to wrap up what you're saying. The way it'll work is when we ask the questions, whichever ticket wants to, every ticket has an answer, but whichever ticket wants to go first will go ahead and raise their hand. And we're just calling that way. And then after you give your speech, you can lower your hand, and then we'll go through each ticket, and then we'll move on to the next question. Does anyone have any questions? All right. Okay. That being said, we'll start with the first question. It's very simple. It's just to please introduce your ticket in 90 seconds. So just either one person from each ticket. If you use the raise hand function on the Zoom, if you would like to be the first one to go. If no one raises a hand, we'll just go down the list randomly. Okay, Amanda?
Absolutely. So we are the Cisse Mikhalevsky ticket, and for short you can call us CIMI, C-I-M-I. And our campaign is founded on 3 core values that we really emphasize throughout our entire platform: collaboration, advocacy, and growth. We need to collaborate with other aspects of the school to get our things done. We need to advocate for every aspect of student life, and we need to grow and actually be able to successfully implement these policies. We have our policies separated into 3 sections: events, academic well-being, and student representation and awareness. Our events include game nights, movie nights, merch design competitions, and Zoom events like Zoom Theme Week or Zoom Cozy Day. Our academic well-being section is incredibly important to the student body, and it includes freshman study halls, enforcing the homework policy, the academic site catalog, and that's our academic well-being section. We also have a student representation and awareness, and I'd like to say that we are one of 2 out of 16 tickets that have this in our platform, and it includes personal connection, an incident report, collaborating with the senior caucus, the media recommendations list, and collaborating with the StyPrep. I also have a personal connection to this policy, as I am a Black student here at Stuyvesant. And lastly, we would love to highlight that we emphasize communication within our platform. While elected, we will be sending out bi-weekly emails, regular website and social media updates, and while campaigning, we will have our Meet the Ticket live stream along with our regular social media and email updates. Thank you so much, and vote CIMI on November 16th.
Okay, thank you. The next ticket. Okay, Hon Lin.
Hi, so I'm Carol Hon. I am running for Freshman Caucus with Angela Lin. We're running for co-presidents, and I want to start off by talking about our pillars. basically what our campaign is founded on. So we have three main pillars, which are inclusivity, transparency, and community. So inclusivity is really important to us, especially because we're doing remote learning right now, and it can be really isolating just being alone and working. So we want to make sure that no one is left out just because of their race or their sexuality, their gender, and all that stuff. We also really want to emphasize transparency because we want to keep everybody in the loop when we're making new policies and when we're just coming up with new ideas and such. And finally, community, we want to make sure that we're interacting with the freshmen and bonding with each other because, like I said, we're all isolated right now, so it's nice to sort of get together and talk. And one thing I want to emphasize is that our policies will be made based off of things we ask the freshmen. So we really want to be in communication with the freshman body to see what they need and how we can adapt to that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next ticket. If we have no volunteer, oh, Liam.
Hello, my name is Janice Lee, and our campaign is all about community and communication to bring students at Stuyvesant closer and form new relationships, whether it be between the staff or not. However, we also want to focus on mental health. Adapting to a new school and managing time can be difficult for many students, especially during the pandemic, and we want to make sure that we give students a chance to relax and ready up for the day. We hope that you vote for us on November 16th. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Chan Rojas-Cessa.
Yep, I'm Nelli Rojas-Cessa, and I'm running with Hon Chan. So our main goal, our main mission is to foster connections in a virtual world. Basically, it's really hard to make friends and meet new people in remote learning. So our whole mission, our main goal is to help people create opportunities to meet other people. We have three core values, and it's ACE, ACE. So the first one's accessibility. Accessibility is about how we want to be approachable to the freshman population because we are representing the freshman population. So, and camaraderie would be related to our main goal, and also how we want to make sure everyone is doing well because we're all comrades. And that also includes caring about each other's mental health. And E stands for excellency. So that is how about we're going to put hard work and try to make everything we do as perfect as it can be. So that's ACE, ACE.
So hello guys, my name is Khalid Chan, and we also would like to I would also like to add that we will always update our social media so everyone's in the loop and no one will be left out. And we'd like to put an emphasis on mental health because especially now we're in a new school and with this remote learning environment, it's like hard for people, like I find it hard to like not feel alone, and if we have more people working together, then everyone will be happy. And yes, we'd also like to emphasize communication because without communication, remote learning wouldn't even be possible. And with more communication between the freshman student union and the freshmen, then we'll have a better school and a more efficient society.
Okay, thank you. Tara Suri.
Hi guys, I'm Tara and I'm running for co-presidents in the Suri Mukherjee ticket with Soham. We are the team for solutions. So our main policy is listening to you guys. We are fully devoted and open to any and all suggestions from you guys. When we are elected, we will take your dreams and make them a reality. Our four main pillars are communication, academics, efficiency, and interaction. We believe these are really important and we'll go into it more later. We want to organize multiple events to bring the Stuyvesant community closer together during this time when we are at home. We'll work tirelessly to get your solutions. We'll work tirelessly to get you solutions and not make any empty promises.
Okay. Thank you. Patel Deng.
Hi, my name is Yashna Patel, running as president of the Patel Deng ticket.
Hey everyone, I'm Janice Deng. I'm running for vice president for Patel Deng ticket.
Our campaign is focused on helping STI students transition from their middle school to a whole new environment with new people, especially in these unprecedented times. In order to help do this, we create a campaign with 3 categories: socialization, helping students create relationships with others, especially online and social distanced; communication, creating a link between the administration, us, as well as the student body; and education, making sure students are not struggling with work and keeping up on top of their classes.
We want for the students to feel comfortable either if they're in school or at home for their classes. We believe that student satisfaction and happiness is important. Me and Yashna believe that our ideas such as open mics, open galleries, complaint systems, Zoom-free periods, upperclassmen lectures will guarantee the students a good freshman school year here in Stuyvesant. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next ticket. All right. Let's do DiSomma Roy.
Yeah, hi. My name is Aniket Roy, and with my partner Joseph DiSomma, we're part of the DiSomma Roy ticket. We built our campaign on 4 main pillars, being community, transparency, consistency, and another being safety. With this ongoing pandemic, it's hard for students to connect with each other face to face, and it leaves this big rifts. And community is what we drew from that, how we still have to make sure people can make friends in this tough environment. And obviously within the entire pandemic, we're making sure they stay safe, the COVID regulations are being kept up. And then transparency, it's for us mainly as a campaign, we're trying to be honest with the freshman class about what we're doing, our policy events, and what we think about Caucus in general. And then for consistency, we apply it to both freshman class and our ticket, how we have to be consistent with the work we put in. We can't slack off. We have to put in everything we have. And our ticket also based our campaign off realism, how we know that Caucus generally doesn't have a lot of power, and we created policies that can counteract that and still make some sort of change in our freshman year.
Okay, thank you. The last ticket, Oppenheimer Lin.
My name's Carter Lim, and I am running with Eliza Oppenheimer for co-presidents of the Freshman Caucus. One of the main pillars of our campaign is an emphasis on the fact that it's hard to connect with people over online. Even though it feels like you're talking to people face to face, it is often not the same. Lots of people feel lots of difficulty trying to connect to people while also focusing on their work and studies, especially with things being so different because of online learning. We put all of our policies work towards trying to get different students to know each other and bring the community a little bit closer during COVID. So we want to bring everyone together while also being apart. That is our main goal.
Just to add on, we're also focusing on education because we know it's very hard to learn over Zoom, and a lot of our policies also focus on that aspect of online classes. We want to be easily reached, and a lot of our, we want you to be able to communicate with us and feel like you can talk to us about any suggestions or issues that you face in school.
Okay, thank you. Are there any tickets that have not answered yet? All right, we'll move to Raymond, who asked the next question.
Okay, so before I get on to the next question, since we're short on time today, if any audience members has any questions they want to ask the tickets, you guys can either PM it to me or Matthew, like in the Zoom chat, and we'll like ask them later. But for the second question, describe your campaign in 3 words. Does anyone want to go? Okay. Cisse Mikhalevsky, sorry for butchering the name.
Yes, we're Cisse Mikhalevsky. You can call us CME for short. But to describe our campaign in 3 words, I believe we would say collaboration, advocacy, and growth. And those are also our core values. So for collaboration, we understand that the freshman caucus is limited in its ability sometimes to implement our policies, which is why not only have we thought of detailed policies that can be implemented, but we've been also thinking of working with the staff, administration, other clubs and organizations, and other caucuses to implement these policies. We have advocacy, in which we advocate for every aspect of a student's life. Their mental and emotional well-being and academic well-being and representation are very important to us. And we also have growth, which is our core value, because our policies are incredibly necessary and like detailed, and we've thought about them for a long time, and we're able to implement them, and ultimately the freshman class should grow from those policies. Thank you.
Next, if anyone wants to raise their hand, Suri, Mukherjee.
Right. So the three words would be three of our most important pillars: communication, academics, and interaction. We are devoted to making sure we can communicate with you guys during this troubling time. If we're elected, we'll establish a system where a weekly form will be sent out to you guys, and you can put any and all suggestions you want on there. And those suggestions will come directly to us. We can then implement them and integrate them into our policies. We're facing these issues ourselves, and so we understand what you're going through. And so we want to do anything we can to help.
For academics, we understand the pressure of STI and the extra stress from trying to adjust to a virtual environment. And to solve that, we would want to organize fun virtual events like game nights and get-togethers to help you. These are the biggest highlights of our ticket. We also believe in interaction, which we would implement through more communication for each other. Thank you.
Next, DiSomma Roy.
The three best words to describe our ticket are inclusive, transparent, and realistic. I'll have Aniket explain more into these.
The biggest takeaway we want from our three words were actually realistic, how we spent a lot of time asking freshmen and a lot of upperclassmen what they thought about caucus in their year and how they think about it now. And they've all sent that same opinion, how they think it won't make real change or it won't really do anything about that. And I think our team has worked a lot to make sure we set a limit for ourselves. We know where we're going and we stick to it, and we don't make fake promises.
Chan Rojas-Cessa.
Okay, so as I've said before, our three words are accessibility, camaraderie, and excellence, ACE or ACE. I can elaborate again. So accessibility is about how we are like relatable to the freshman population, because we are freshmen. We made our event ideas and our plans based off of our own problems and other people that we know that are fellow freshmen. Camaraderie, once again, is our main goal, which is to help bring a sense of community and to just help you become more familiar with people in your class. Excellency is about how we try to make everything excellent. And Kyle, do you want to elaborate?
Yeah, so for accessibility, we plan on having suggestion forms, and we want to have weekly check-ins with the freshman population to make sure what we're doing, our interests are aligning with their interests. Because if freshmen don't like our events or policies, then what's the point of representing them? For excellency, we want all of our events and policies to be of the highest quality, and we want to make sure that everything we do will be perfect.
Hon Lin.
Hi everyone. I didn't introduce myself yet, but I'm Angela, and I would describe the Hon Lin campaign using the words dedicated, adaptive, and realistic. I would use the word dedicated because we take this seriously and we're not doing this for fun. We actually want to make our school year the best it can be despite its circumstances. I would use the word adaptive because even though we've already thought about certain ideas and policies, it's not set in stone. We're going to take your opinions and your feedback and change them. And the last word, realistic. We don't want to shoot for the stars. We don't want to make anything that's unrealistic. We want to keep it kind of low key and just do anything that can be accomplished using our resources. Thank you.
Patel Deng.
Our campaign is based around the 3 categories of socialization, communication, and education. To go more into detail, the plans under socialization were made to help the freshman students meet new people outside of just their class. COVID-19 has limited ways to make new friends due to social distancing, not going into school, and we want to make sure those who are online and remote have the same opportunities to meet people as those in school. So this includes having open mics for those interested in theater to help connect with other people with the same interest, sports social media walls so you can connect to your teammates even though your sport has been canceled, and bi-monthly game night competitions, meaning that you can have fun winning prizes and collaborate with some of your classmates. Communication is our next basis of our campaign, meaning we really appreciate all of your ideas and we want all of our campaign and policies to be around what the student body actually wants, using different polls and complaint system methods. And lastly, we all know at STI, everyone here values their education very highly, meaning that we want to advocate for teachers to follow all the policies, such as the homework policy or any other policy, just like unfairly taking away points for having your camera off during class, and help the student body overall.
Oppenheimer Lim.
So we want to advocate for all the students' needs, and we want to be very easily accessible from those students, which is why we will accept any private messages or emails, or you can fill out a suggestion form and we'll be happy to talk to people. This goes along with communication. We want to make sure that students have all the information they need about everything. We also don't want to be flooding their inboxes, so we will send emails out as necessary, but sending emails out too often will make it hard to organize the information.
And to add on to Eliza, our final word, education. We know STI was already hard, but it's definitely increased in difficulty because of online learning. Tests and all your grades are counted into like participation now. You turn on your camera, technical difficulties. All of those things make it even harder to have a good grade and learn more into Stuyvesant. Our campaign wants to help people, so these hurdles are less of hurdles, more of just tiny anthills in your way to success.
Lee Yom.
All right, so we have, for our 3 words, we have progression, community, and health.
For progression, we want to stay short and simple with our policies so that we aren't spread out and have the ability to pursue each one. We are trying to stay as ambitious as possible, but not overreaching our boundaries. As for community, now more than ever, we need to come together as a community during these uncertain times. Separated by remote learning, we believe that students need an opportunity to communicate with each other, forming new bonds never possible before. And finally, for health, transitioning to a new school year can be hard on students who don't have the experience needed to adapt. We want to focus on students who are struggling with managing time or still have anxieties about the school year. Thank you.
Okay, so if all the tickets have answered, I think Matthew can ask the next question.
Okay, so the next question is that there have been a lot of promising goals and policies proposed by all of you, but how will you keep in touch with the student body and what they think? And why is your ticket best suited to be a liaison between the student union and the student body as we head into an unprecedented school year? Do we have any volunteers? Which ticket would like to speak first? If not, okay. Cisse Mikhalevsky.
So first off, when we're elected, we are planning to have bi-weekly emails with a bunch of information to update people on things that are going on in our progress. And also something that's very important to the both of us is being extremely transparent with you guys. We know that not all of the things are going to work as ideally as possible, and we're going to let you know of both our successes and our failures. We're not going to hide anything from you. Then second of all, we are going to have live streams often. So a lot of students feel that it's easier to communicate verbally with people rather than spend a lot of time typing or writing responses. So we would have those frequently for students to just come and talk to us, maybe pop in for a couple minutes and ask us any questions. Then another thing that's very important to us, and this is one of our core values, is collaboration. So we would be connecting with the students by collaboration. For many of our policies, we need to talk to the student body and consider their ideas. Like, for example, for media recommendation policies and things like that, we will need to get student input on that, as well as the input of certain clubs and organizations. And then for other policies, such as introducing more Hispanic literature into the English curriculum, we'll be collaborating with the other caucuses.
Okay, thank you. Hon Lin.
Hi. So as we said before, communication and just like talking a lot with the freshman body is really important to us. So we have a few different methods of communication. So first, we want to have a website where we can we can have a place where people can post, questions and concerns, and we can respond to them easily. We also want to host meetings called Coffee with the Caucus, where we're just gonna get together with other freshmen and just discuss how we're feeling, and they can tell us like what they think about policies we're implementing, and we can sort of talk about our future ideas. And it's a good way to just talk with each other so we can make policies that best fit the freshman body. And I'm gonna pass it on to Angela.
To add on to what Carol said about the website, we also plan to use the website to house many resources, so that'll include updates on what's happening. And as for what Matthew asked about how we're going to deal with the unprecedented times, like I said before, we're really adaptive and we're flexible. So we're open to making compromises, even if that might not, even if it might not be what we want 100%, we're still willing to try our best to make it happen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Would any tickets like to raise their hand to Patel Deng?
Hi, like previous teams spoken about, I feel that instead of weekly newsletters or bi-weekly newsletters or law Google Forms, we'll actually turn away students from sharing their input and being engaged, because spending 5 to 10 minutes reading over a long newsletter will make students turn away from actually reading through the information. So instead, we want to implement daily polls or small surveys with multiple choice questions, either every other day or every day, where students can quickly and easily share their opinions and their concerns. Also, we want to implement a complaint system that can be found on the Student Union website, where those who have any questions or concerns about if a teacher is not regulating based on the homework policy, or is unfairly taking away points, or any other concerns or questions you may have, can be all located in one place, so that we can go to the respective teacher or go to the administration and easily make sure that your concern is solved.
Okay, thank you. Oppenheimer Lin.
Yeah, like I was saying before, all our social medias and emails are open. We always check our private messages often, so we're very open to direct contact from people. So if you're not exactly comfortable doing it in some or other fashion, you can come directly to us and we'll answer your questions there. And besides that, we also have our website, which will put periodic updates on our progress throughout the year. I'll pass it on to Eliza.
Okay, thank you. Like we mentioned before, we have a suggestion form if people don't really feel like talking to us, which is completely fine. We also have an email, and they can email us with our personal accounts, our STI accounts. And we also want to hold Zoom sessions where people can raise their concerns or criticisms of how we're doing and what's going on in the school so that we know about the freshman issues that are happening.
Okay, thank you. DiSomma Roy.
Our main ways of communicating with other freshmen in the freshman body would be like Zooms maybe every 2 weeks, or emails, like send emails for every week to give an anonymous survey to see how they're feeling about the year, how they're feeling about the caucus, what any ideas or concerns they have. They can also, we're people, they can still DM us privately. They can find us on social media with periodic updates on our campaign and what we're doing and our progress. There's videos being posted. There's other live things being put on other social medias, or just us being around. Oh, sorry about that. And so we have a lot of ideas of what people can tell us and how people can communicate with us without their private email and this and that.
Yeah, to add on how we communicate with them is we got this guide of creating these short video skits on how to tell them what we plan on doing, if we do when freshman caucus, our policies, our events, and it helps them blind we want to make sure they don't take us too seriously because we're freshmen like them and we can be friends with them.
Okay, thank you. Lee Yom.
Thank you. As you may have noticed, our list of policies on our platform document is much shorter than some other tickets. However, please do not mistake this as a lack of effort.
Having a large list of goals can get convoluted and difficult to achieve each one. We will stay transparent with each of our goals, making our policies realistic and simple. Policies like our mental health Google Forms, social media, and Gmail can make contacting us accessible for anyone. We are always open to any questions, regardless the matter. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chan Rojas-Cessa.
We are best fit for being the bridge between students and the student union because we are the most experienced. I was elected as my school's SLT, school leadership team representative, and I advocated for lockers. We didn't have enough space in our school for lockers, so from this experience, we've learned that we have to be realistic in our ideas so we don't waste time and resources. We'll be steps ahead of the other tickets from our experience, and instead of starting from scratch and learning about student government along the way, we'll just be way further along that progress road. Like I said before, we would also like to send out emails so we could stay in touch with the freshman body, making sure that we are transparent about all of our goals. This transparency will hold us accountable for all of the goals that we promised to bring to STI.
Okay, so the reason why we are the best fit is because I also have leadership experience. I've been co-captain of my school's girls basketball team, and I've helped mentor little kids, and I've helped event planning in my old school with like parties and stuff. So another thing is that me and Kyle have known each other for 3 years, and we worked really well together, on group projects, and we're very familiar with how we work together. And I think Kyle has really strong ideas, and in return, I'm like a voice of reason and try to make our ideas as best as they can be. So I think we're best fit for each other and best fit for Freshman Caucus. Thank you.
Okay. Suri Mukherjee.
Right, so as we previously said, we will set up a system where a weekly form will go out to all of you, and you can put your direct suggestions in there, and then those suggestions will come straight to us. And we'll make sure the form isn't too long, maybe 1 or 2 questions, so you won't have to waste too much time on it. And then we'll try our best to take your suggestions and work them into our policies. Ultimately, if you really think about it, we're representing you guys, and it's only fair that you have a direct say in what we are doing, because ultimately it'll only turn out helping you guys. And I'll pass it on.
In addition to communicating with students, we also want to communicate with the student union so we are able to make things happen to the best of our ability. We will form strong relationships with the student union. In addition to communicating with the student union, we would also like to have bi-weekly or bi-monthly meetings on Zoom where people can bring specific problems they want to us. In addition to having Zoom meetings, we don't want to bombard people with so many emails, but we will send out emails bi-weekly or bi-monthly, bi-weekly or bi-monthly, depending on what is wanted by the community. We will also set up a website with anonymous surveys where students can also include their perspective or any problems, questions, or comments they have directed to us. We have given anonymous surveys before during our campaign, and we were able to use that information to cater to your ideas. Our emails are always open. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Every two guys answered this question. I would just like to remind the audience once again that if you have any questions you'd like to submit, you can type them in the Zoom chat either to me or to Raymond, and we'll take those down for the audience question section at the end of the debate. Okay, I'll pass it off to Raymond for the next question. Okay,
so for the next question, wait, I think there was still a hand up in the participants. Did everyone get to go? Or, okay, if everyone got to go, okay.
I believe
next
DiSomma Roy had their hand up, but I think they just forgot to lower it. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, so for the next question, there was a 1/3 voter turnout in last year's freshman caucus election. How do your policies aim to resolve that? How will you address voter apathy and possible disinterest in the caucus by portions of the student body, especially during these times where we don't meet face-to-face? DiSomma Roy?
Yeah, our campaign actually brought this up as a main challenge in our platform, and we thought we should send a message. Freshmen don't know what they want until they're actually given it. So private DMing them every day, different people telling them what our platform is built on, making sure they actually do know, even if they don't want to know, is good because they still have to participate in SU because, hey, they're in Stuyvesant now, they're part of the family, it's good if they contribute.
Just to add on to that, instead of being fully professional with it and acting like it's some sort of thing way above another freshman's league, we want to be more down to earth with it and just talk to people. We're all in the same grade here, and we're all working for one thing to make this year better. So why not just talk to people casually and talk about this and talk about how we can help them in this year. We can assist them with adjusting to this new school. And so if we make it more interactive and a little bit more fun than just being all boring and gray, then maybe we can get some more votes in.
Okay, thank you. Patel, Deng.
Hi, so our campaign helps a variety of people that each have different interests. So such as we want to help the theater community or any freshmen who are interested in theater with open mics, because we understand that because of COVID, plays and the Stuyvesant competition are canceled. So those who are interested in theater do not have any incentive to express themselves with these open mics. Those who are interested can collaborate and watch each other's performances and create relationships with people. Also, we also have policies involving those who were going to join a sports team. We understand they have been canceled, but we want to create a social media wall where you can enter in your information based on the club you were previously going to join, so that before next year's school year, when the sport is not canceled, you can already be connected with your teammates and those who are already on the same team as you. This is why we hope that more people will vote, because our campaign helps many, many different people who each have many, many different interests.
Yes, adding on to Yashna, our campaign, we like to keep everything realistic, but we also want to replicate what happened in last year's freshman year. We want everyone to have the same exact opportunities to do everything, but in a realistic way where we could actually do it and not kind of skim through everything and just make everything sound really simple.
Thank you. The CME ticket?
Yes, so on the topic of voting, we understand how important it is for students to vote, especially because there are so many tickets running and it's necessary. So we have our communication section of our campaign which not only allows students to interact with us specifically, like our Meet the Ticket live streams and plenty social media posts, but we also have personal emails that we are sending out to students, and we are also offering voting information in these emails, and we've already sent out a few. So with that said, I'll pass it on to Margaret.
I just want to add that I think it's important to get a lot of people to vote by sending out personal emails and personal messages, etc. But it's also important not to spam people, because that can just get very annoying. And especially now, it's so hard to keep track of all of the emails you get. So even in the petition phase, we have emailed over 100 people, but we've only emailed each person once, and we always make sure that we never have any repetitions. And all of our emails are pretty personal, and there are many people who have responded to our emails, and we always take the time to personally respond to them, not just with a generic response, and we will always answer any questions you have. So I think that will encourage a greater voter turnout, because people will see that we're actually answering their questions and not just writing a generic thank you or a generic email to them. We actually care about their vote, and we want them to have a voice.
Okay, thank you. Oppenheimer Lim.
We want to involve people on our team that have different interests so we can benefit every freshman, because our job is to work for the freshmen, and that includes every single one, no matter what they're doing or what they're interested in. And I think by doing this, we can really reach out to a greater group of people and be more personal.
To add on, also the fact that I don't think lots of people know when election day is for the student caucus. So I think a large part of it is advertising the actual day through social media and other means, so people know when they can actually vote.
Okay, thank you. Hon Lin.
So I feel like people have different means of communication that they like best. Some people sort of just like to just go like through personal email, which we're totally accepting, or you could DM through social media if that works for you. We're also holding meetings, like I said before, if you like a sort of more face-to-face interaction. Also, I feel like a lot of people feel weird putting their names on things, so we're making all of our surveys and stuff as anonymous as possible. Also, we're trying not to be too mechanical with things. Like, we want to get to know each other, and we want to be as friendly as possible. So we're planning on holding events to sort of bond with each other and get to know each other. So it's not just us talking through a screen. We're actually getting to know each other as people. Thank you.
Thank you. Chan Rojas-Cessa.
Okay, so the way we'll increase voter turnout is because our main goal is everything's online, and we want to help people connect with others, right? So since there's so many candidates this year, I can say that because everything is online, it makes it voter turnout would be higher. I would estimate that it would be higher because everyone, like most people check their emails, and the SU really is using emails this year. So I think voter turnout will be like kind of higher. Also, the way we'll make voter turnout higher is that everything that we're doing is to help the freshmen. I mean, that is the whole goal of Freshman Caucus. And like all our ideas are pointing in one direction, and that direction is to help the community. And I think people would be interested in what we're doing, because what we're doing is for them. We're trying to serve you. We're trying to serve you, our fellow freshmen, and that's our whole job. Kyle, you want to elaborate?
Oh, well, we have events that are inclusive for all freshmen. Like, we're planning on doing game tournaments with like League of Legends and Valorant, so we can add these communities to our campaign. And we're also catering to different likes and interests. And with our big outreach, campaign managers in different boroughs, we can increase voter turnout thanks to our networking and connections.
Okay, thank you. Next, Lee Yom.
So in past years, the SU has always been distant to a large percentage of our students.
We aim to make all our communication with the freshman grade more personal than a typical caucus. In our opinion, reaching out to people is part of the major responsibility given to the caucus, especially during the pandemic when people are separated online. We value every suggestion or opinion because what you think is important to us.
Social media platforms like Discord, Instagram, or Facebook help us reach out when we cannot do so in person. In fact, I own a Discord server myself. Thank you.
Nice. Suri Mukherjee.
Right. So a lot of the time, lower voter turnout is due to the fact that a lot of people think that that one vote will not make the difference, that their ideas don't matter. But we'll make sure that they understand that their voice, their power does matter. If we're elected, people will have the chance to directly influence what policies get passed. It doesn't matter if they vote first or not. But freshmen should understand the power that they hold, and we want them to use it. I'll pass it on.
We want to stress that as freshmen, your voice matters. We think communication, one of our 4 main pillars, is very important. We want to hear all of you. We will constantly encourage freshmen to vote through text messages, Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. Our campaign team will work to remind people tirelessly to vote. This way, many people will remember that their voice matters. We also want to get the word out to people who aren't as active on social media. For example, we might want to ask social studies teachers to remind everyone to vote so people are aware of the freedom they have. We want to encourage democracy by reminding everybody that they are allowed to pick whoever they want to vote for. Thank you.
If that's it, then I'll pass it on to Matthew. I think we might be starting the audience questions.
Yeah, so we'll move on to the audience questions now. You can continue submitting them if you have new ones or for people that came late, but we'll start reading out the audience questions. So this question is for the Cisse Mikhalevsky ticket. The question is, quote, how will your study guides be different from the Arista study guides and where will they be?
Yes, I'll take that one. So our study guides will be on our website. It's currently in progress and will definitely be finished very soon. But they will be on our website, easily accessible to any freshman who needs it. And we'd also like to mention what your question was about Arista study guides. So we understand that Arista study guides are a thing, yeah, and you can ask for tutoring, but we know that they might not be as specific as some of us would like, and they also might not be as up to date. So we want freshmen to be able to submit study guides and Quizlets so that they can work on them with each other. They can also have them up to date, and they ultimately can use those study guides to be a tool for their academic well-being. And it's a lot more specific than Arista and sorted by teacher and class.
I'd like to add just a little bit. So the Arista study guides are very good, and we are very thankful to all of the people who have submitted them to Arista. But a lot of them are more geared towards finals or reviewing a year of curriculum or a very large amount of curriculum. And another thing, like Amanda mentioned, is that our study guides will be teacher and subject specific, because we know that even within, let's say, an honors modern biology subject, many teachers decide to teach chapters in different orders or things like that. So through our study guides, first of all, they'd be much more specific than Arista's. They'd cover specific chapters or topics. And in addition to that, they'd also be organized by teacher and subject so that people from that teacher and subject could all collectively work on that study guide or Quizlet together.
Okay, so the next audience question we have is question for the candidates. How would your ticket help encourage school spirit and student engagement online? Do we have any volunteers? Simi?
Yeah, so one of our policies that is quite original is to have a merch design competition. And I remember looking through the Stuyvesant merchandise store in the beginning of the year, and there wasn't too many options. So something we feel that would encourage class and school spirit in general is to have a merch design competition. So how this would work is a bunch of students would, freshmen specifically, would create art, and then other freshmen would vote on the designs that they think were the best. And then those designs would be used to make merchandise. And in our platform, we addressed how this would work funding-wise and preemptively address any funding concerns.
So this would increase school spirit because we would have merchandise that's unique to us and it would be special to specifically our class.
Thank you. Han Lin?
Oh, hello. So a way for our grade to bond would be hosting game nights and movie nights. And these aren't like really like out there social events. It's just for us to get to know each other over the screen because it's not possible during the pandemic. And I feel like if we, like as Caucus, we don't hold ourselves to a high pedestal, and because we're all people, we're all in the same grade. If we set like a good example, then everyone else will follow and we'll all become a nice community, which is one of our pillars.
Thank you. DiSomma Roy?
Yeah, one of the way we felt we could get students to engage in Stuyvesant is to appeal to their specific interests. Obviously, some into games, and we can have gaming competition or contest and to a specific game. And others are more into art and theater, and obviously tuning and making sure we hold movie events to show a particular movie helps people connect, make friends. And something we thought was a general interest for all freshmen is how to do better in Stuyvesant. And that's something we thought upperclassmen can answer, and that's where we brought in our event called Lecture Halls, where upperclassmen come in, they share their experiences in freshman year, some interests they had, and how we can do better. It's an interactive event for all of them.
And even though we're trying to help other students and make it more fun at the same time, it's just what you said, game nights or movie. I can find other movies for students. It doesn't have to only be on Zoom either. We'll send an email out or a survey saying what platform they want it to be on. You can either have contests, other art, like drawing contests or writing contests, whatever it want to be. We'll have the community like interaction to see what they want to decide to do. And we'll have some sort of prize, nothing too big. We can't make it too big. We're not a full organization here, but something small, something to make it more fun and interesting for the people who are actually participating in this.
Thank you. Chan Rojas-Cessa?
Okay, so the way we'll get more school spirit is through everything that we are doing, because our main goal, once again, is to help people meet each other and build a community, build school spirit. So it's like essentially everything that we're going to do is going to contribute to school spirit. So I can start off, and I'd say one of our biggest ideas is study sessions. And I'm sure you've heard this multiple times, but we take it one step further. See, what we do is we really planned it out. Like we could put it in motion almost right away. Well, we're gonna put people in the same. We're gonna have a big Zoom, have breakout rooms, and we can put people with the same preferences, people with the same teachers, so they could study together, right? We're going to use the Pomodoro technique, which is basically you do work for 20 minutes and then you take 5-minute breaks or just talk to people that you're studying with, right? So we really thought out our ideas, and we're trying to make it so that it can happen, so that when we're elected, we can actually get it done. So that was just one of our ideas. We also have game tournaments. I think we briefly touched on it before, like Among Us, just different games that will be more inclusive to everyone. So that's where we get more people involved and we increase school spirit.
Thank you. Oppenheimer Lim?
Thanks. What me and Eliza planned is holiday posts where you can submit some sort of recipe or arts and crafts thing. So then it'll be shared with everyone in the grade. So it'll enable a sort of like fun thing that you can do on the side, not like a big commitment, but something small you can do if you have free time. It'll help increase school spirit because I know personally, I always like baking, and I think that sharing a recipe with everyone is a good way to, lighten the mood a little. And also, to share even more work, more specifically artwork, we're going to set up a bulletin board where you can post artwork that will obviously be reviewed. Everyone can just look at it for nice art. To pass on to Eliza.
Just to add on a little bit, it could be artwork or also, or writing like a story or an image of a nice food that you made. And it'd be a really great way for you to share what you've been doing during quarantine. Thank you.
Does anyone else want to answer this question? Lee Yom.
Thank you. At Stuyvesant, students are a large part of the community. However, teachers and staff are part of that group as well.
In one of our policies, our main goal is to encourage competition and school spirit. The Teacher Olympics policy is how we engage both our teachers and students in friendly competitions for not only enjoyment, but also to get to know each other better. This is one of many policies we would like to implement to get the community to know each other better.
We're in a unique circumstance where we have not met each other in real life, and that can affect how impersonal everything feels than it normally would.
Thank you. Suri, Mukherjee.
So firstly, we held an anonymous survey earlier, and based on those results, we found out that homework and stress are the biggest issues right now. I understand this because I go to sleep every night thinking if I forgot to do a homework or what I'll do tomorrow. There are two ways to fix this. The first would be to directly reduce the amount of work, but teachers have a hard enough job as it is, stuffing in as much as possible in this limited amount of time. So that's not a reasonable solution. However, we would hold game nights and virtual get-togethers based on your suggestions, and this will ensure that you enjoy as much as you can. I'll pass it on.
To help lighten the stress and bring the Stuyvesant community closer together, we would organize fun events like game nights with prizes. We would play games such as Scribble.io, Among Us, Minecraft, or any other games people would have. We would also have things called Spirit Week, for example, where we would have days like Crazy Hat Day, Jersey Day, where you wear your favorite team. People could submit their costume for that day and vote for their favorite costume, and those people could win prizes. Another idea we would have are friendly competitions between homerooms. Some ideas we have are scavenger hunts, for example, 1 point per item, and the team and homeroom with the most points would win, or walkathons, homeroom that walks the most gets a prize of some sort, and a number of other things. We believe that these ideas will allow students to bond with each other, and this would not only help to lighten the stress, but also fix the boredom that some of you are probably facing, and form a stronger spirit between students.
Thank you. Patel, Deng.
Hi, so my vice president is going to explain this question.
We would endorse school spirit with basically in Stuyvesant, we have a lot of people who come from different ethnic backgrounds, and they all have different cultures, different traditions, and kind of in Stuyvesant, we all know we're really competitive, and that's why we want to create food competitions each month regarding each culture. Since there are many cultures, we would think that it was a fun, competitive way to pretty much allow the students to acknowledge others and increase school spirit in a collaborative way. The events will teach students about diversity, not only in the school, but all around the world, and allow the students to have fun with their classmates. Thank you.
So I think that is all the tickets to answer. So Matthew, you can ask the next audience question.
Yeah, so the next question is a general question to any tickets that wish to answer it. It's simply, quote, why do you believe you're able to enforce/enact your policies? Cisse, Mikhalevsky?
Yeah, so we truly believe that we are able to enforce our policies and implement them successfully into the school, and it ties into our core value of growth. So to explain that just a little bit, growth really revolves around the fact that our policies are detailed. We've spent a lot of time working every single day on this for the past 2 or 3 weeks to make sure that these policies are ready and able to be implemented into the school curriculum in a successful way. We've thought of every single possible idea, possible aspect of our ideas that we've come up with, and we've addressed them, and we believe that we are ready to implement them into the freshman class, of course. I think a good example of this would be that our enforcement of the homework policy. A lot of other tickets just have, suggestion forms, which we don't really believe students will be incentivized to take, but we've come up with a really detailed policy called the 5 rule, in which 5 students can report violations, and we believe it will be really effective. And it's something that we thought about for a long time and we came up with and we can successfully implement.
I'd like to add that the 5 rule specifically is a very good way of enforcing the homework policy. First of all, because mandating that there are 5 violations of the homework policy by a teacher and also 5 students to report it ensures that no students are taking advantage of the fact that you can report teachers for not following the homework policy. Then another thing about this is that we're not using just a submission form. For this policy, you can message us on Facebook, you can message us on Instagram, email us. You can literally reach out to us through any method of communication. As long as you have 5 students and 5 violations of the homework policy, we will take your request. And then we will proceed with the spiral of communication on your behalf and keep you all anonymous. Another reason that the 5 rule is very effective is because more teachers will be inclined to actually change if there are more people that are reporting it, because a teacher will see that 5 people reported it instead of just 1, which they could attribute to the fact that maybe that person hasn't studied enough and that's why their homework takes a long time to do.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other tickets that would like to answer the question? Chan Rojas-Cessa.
One second. Okay, so basically, sorry about that, but so our ideas and our events, right? The way we're gonna get things done is that we've already planned them. So pretty much we have like everything settled out. We know that we're gonna use Zoom. We know how to use Zoom. We know that we're gonna do breakout rooms. We know how we're gonna do forms. We can send an email to all the freshmen to get them informed on our events. So we basically have planned out everything. Of course, we're open to planning new stuff and editing our plans, of course, but our ideas are already like ready to go, you know. So we can they're realistic, and I think that they're as best as they can be. Kyle, do you want to elaborate?
Yes, so I'd like to add that we think we can get things done because based on our previous experiences for event planning, we know how this goes and we can be really organized and careful about it. So our main timeline for how to get things done is first you have to come up with a plan. How are we gonna, first you have to come up with the idea, obviously, but you have to plan like the budget, the timing, and then you have to start promotion and you have to market your event so that it's successful and like not only like one person comes. And then you have to split up the roles and responsibilities, which means like some people in the art department where they would work on posters and some people would just work on making the event possible. And then lastly, it would be execution, where we would just execute the event and make sure many people come and have a great time.
Unfortunately, as we are running low on time, we're going to move to some of the other questions. So Raymond, we'll take that.
Yeah, so before we run into some of these questions, which are going to be ticket specific, I would just like to say that since we're on a shortage of time, we're going to do a lightning round. So instead of 90 seconds per question, you guys are going to get around 50 to 60, so around a minute. So the first question goes to the Patel Deng ticket. How are your Stuyvesant alumni lectures different from the alumni mentoring program?
I'm sorry, it's not unmuted. It's not only alumni that we want our lectures to be about, also upperclassmen. And the reason why they're different is because we feel that like the mentoring lectures, they are more overall based on future careers and details such as like that. However, these lectures, like some of the Facebook groups such as 2024 We Have Advice, they'll be more open-ended where those who attend can ask for any specific tips and things like that. And so you may be thinking like, how is this different from the Big SIP program? And while that program is really great with meeting other people in their homeroom, it doesn't let students be very specific in asking questions. And also it means that the basic program has like a head watching over them, so the answers they get are clouded.
Okay, Matthew, you can ask the next question.
Okay, this is for the Suri Mukherjee ticket. And the question is, quote, how would they administer a scavenger hunt online? Also, doesn't a Spirit Week already exist? How is their version of Spirit Week going to be different?
I'll take this question. So the way we would do, to answer the first question, the way we would do, for example, scavenger hunt is we would come up with a list of items. People would have a limited amount of time, and we would ask people to have take pictures of the item and send it to someone, and that would count as a point. For example, the list could be from anything to like anything from like something colorful to something shiny. It's a number of different things we could do. And could you repeat the question again so I could hear this one?
Yeah. So it was, how would you administer the scavenger hunt online? And also, how is your version of Spirit Week going to differ from the already existing one?
Spirit Week would differ from the existing one is because we would take ideas from students and have them suggest things that they would want to do for Spirit Week. These are just some ideas that we had, like Crazy Hat Day and Jersey Day, but we would be open to a number of different ideas for Spirit Week.
Okay, so the next audience question is going to be general one. I guess because we're running short on time, it's just, we're not going to like let all the tickets go. I guess this will be first come, first. Someone just asked me in PM, are tickets allowed to ask questions? Unfortunately, due to our shortage of time, we're not going to do that like for this debate. So it's just going to be audience questions. So question for any ticket willing to take it, how will your ticket promote diversity? Simi?
Yes, so this was actually really sad and really disappointing, but we have been one of the only tickets, I think out of two, to actually have any sort of policies to promote diversity within the school. And before I elaborate on that, I'd like to go into what those are. I, as a Black student, believe that this is really important to implement into the freshman class, and we have some policies we've thought of, such as the incident report, which is incredibly detailed and not just a submission form, so we highly recommend checking out our platform. But anyone who feels any sort of discomfort because of discriminatory reasons can contact us. We will mediate with both people and possibly point you to a guidance counselor or a SPEAR BSL. We have collaborating with the Senior Caucus to promote diversity in the English department. We have our media recommendations list, which should not only incentivize students to become more aware, but also an enjoyable thing, because who doesn't love books and movies? And we want to collaborate with StyPrep to promote their advertising earlier in middle school years, as oftentimes minority students don't really get to take the SHSAT. Now, also, just to add on to what I said earlier, it's really disappointing that many tickets don't have this, and even some mentioned it and didn't elaborate on their policies. It's disappointing, but yeah, thank you.
If I have time, I'd like to add also as well that a lot of tickets mention movie nights, and that is a great idea, and I completely agree that is good for community bonding. However, our movie nights are special in that we're taking student recommendations as well as recommendations from the Sty Unity clubs such as Spectrum, Aspira, and BSL to make sure that those movies promote awareness about certain issues in the world going on today, especially those regarding diversity.
Thank you. DiSomma Roy?
Yeah, one way we start to tackle diversity is holding these great tradition events where we all come from different backgrounds, and if there's this big event in your culture or religion, share it with us, we'll make it public, we all can participate, because it's good that we all learn about your culture and other cultures, because it makes us well-rounded in a way. And I think something else that we want to bring up was the Discovery Program. Obviously, that was a fix. People wanted to make sure all races got resources to take the SHSAT or even know about the SHSAT. And we agree, and we actually thought there's better ways to do that, how it's better if we tell our friends or we as a public community mention to people that this test is free and it tests your knowledge, and if you can get to these great schools, that let you know how high school prepares you for not only college, but for your life.
Just to finish off what he was saying, there's also promotion of groups. There's a lot of groups on the websites for STI, and you can always promote them every week to give some sort of awareness to people who are looking at our emails and looking at our posts and to pay attention to these things.
Thank you. I guess we'll just let one more ticket go. Yom.
Our campaign focuses on the outreach to the entire community. We're dedicated to hearing the voice of each and every freshman.
We can do this through events such as our Cultural Food Appreciation Day, where we celebrate all different kinds of cultures, and our Google Forms, where anyone can talk about any of their problems, whether it be a teacher giving too much homework or even discrimination by a fellow freshman. We want to act as the middleman between you, the student, and the staff of the school. Thank you.
Okay, Matthew, are we going to ask any more questions?
I think we have just one more. This one is a specific question for the DiSomma Roy campaign. The question is, how do you plan on enforcing the homework policy?
Yeah, with our homework policy, we're obviously very detailed because I actually spent months of time asking a lot of previous freshmen how they dealt with their homework, and they all mentioned how they had to keep a balanced schedule. And for us, we decided we have to draw a line where, hey, we want to make sure you complete your homework in a reasonable amount of time, but you still learn that content, because obviously with this ongoing pandemic and us having remote learning, teachers find it a little hard to communicate with us and tell us exactly what we need to know. So assigning more homework gives them that assurance that we're learning, but we're not really. So we draw that line to make sure, okay, so one person completes homework in 1 hour, the other does it in 3 hours, make sure it's half that math, so an hour and 30 minutes, and at the same time, both students know that content. So they're prepared for the test, they're prepared to participate in class even. It's about making sure that we make your life easier, but you also make sure you can do well in school.
Thank you. So with that, we're going to bring the debate to a close now. Thank you everyone who came in and attended. Thank you for the tickets for all coming here and explaining your platforms and your policies to the voters. Remember that there is another debate tomorrow with the other 8 tickets for Freshman Caucus, since there are 16. So that will be tomorrow if you wish to go. And yeah, I think we will end it there.
Actually, I think we're gonna let the candidates do their closing statements.
Oh, yeah.
Just to wrap it up. Yeah. So.
Yeah, closing statements.
Does any ticket want to go first for a closing statement? It'll be like around, I guess, a minute. Yom.
Having known my partner for nearly 6 years now, we have the ability to work together to pursue our goals. We want to stay short, simple, concise, and transparent with all of the freshmen. And we hope that you vote for us on November 16th. Thank you.
DiSomma Roy.
Aniket and I have been through a good bit over the past few months, and we've known each other pretty personally. And with this campaign, with his immense amount of research and our motivation for this campaign, I feel like we can really push this far and bring freshmen together and do it and help them with this year.
Hon Lin.
Yeah, so we as Freshman Caucus are obviously going to be the bridge between the freshman body and the student union. And we're going to be doing our best to make tweaks to your life to just improve it and make it less stressful. And yeah, be sure to vote for us on November 16th. Thank you.
Oppenheimer Lim.
So we didn't mention this before, but we worked on student government in middle school for 2 years together. So we know how to communicate amongst ourselves and enact policies and events. Carter, would you like to add?
More specifically, we worked on recycling reform, and we actually got our school really close to zero waste, which I am really proud of. That shows how well and capable we are in order to enact policies. So we do have the experience to do this.
Does anyone else want to share their Patel Deng?
Okay. Having Yashna recently being in student union back in middle school, she organized fundraisers, teacher-student games, drives, and dances, and a lot more. And I've been attending many leadership camps at Mount Sinai and became one of their top young female medical leaders for many of their events. I feel like this allowed me and her to both be open and understand each other a lot. And when we first met, in all honesty, we met in the beginning of the school year. We clicked immediately, became perfect running partners, and we think that we're perfect for leading the freshmen into a really good school year. Even though of COVID, even though some of us are remote, some of us are blended, everything is still really confusing, but we're confident that our ideas that we have in mind will make the school year amazing for everyone. So be sure to vote for Patel Deng on November 16th. Thank you. And I'll hand it off to my, oh, never mind. Yeah, thank you.
Simi?
I want to add as our final closing statement that Amanda and I have spent so many hours working on this. We have made sure not just to list policies or come up with ideas, because so many of you guys and so many of the other tickets here have created really good policies with obviously the best intentions in mind, but some of them are just not feasible, or they are feasible, but you guys haven't explained how you're going to do them. So that is something that Amanda and I really value, is that we explained in detail in our campaign exactly how we're going to accomplish each of our policies. And if you guys have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to either of us and vote CME on November 16th. Thank you.
Guys, just to add on, thank you all so much for coming out and for listening to the debates. We really appreciate it, and we hope that we've given you some insight into our campaign. And we both really care a lot about this, and we do hope that you vote for us on November 16th. Thank you.
Chan Rojas-Cessa?
Okay, so there was a really good question that I didn't get to answer about diversity. Can I, 1 second?
While she's talking, I'll say, to end this debate, we'll first like to thank everyone for coming. And we would like to add that for inclusivity of different backgrounds, we want to have movie nights that are month specific, like Black History Month. We would like to show a movie with that specific social issue. This will bring a lot of attention to these social injustices, and we are confident that we will serve you well if you elect us. And unlike what Simi said, we are also very thorough with our policies and events, and we think we will bring you the best freshman year of STI. We hope you vote for Chan Rojas-Cessa.
Yeah, okay, sorry about that, but I just wanted to really quickly touch on the diversity question. And actually, as a half Hispanic and half Asian student, I think it's really important to be diverse, and that's why our events are meant to be as inclusive as possible. And also, I really want to normalize pronouns, especially for people that in the LGBTQ community. And just to finish our concluding statements, we really care about you and just our community as freshmen. And I feel like we both truly believe in our goal, which is to help people connect. And it's really hard over Zoom, but that's why I think as Freshman Caucus will make a big impact. Oh, thank you, and I hope you vote for Chan Rojas-Cessa.
Thank you. Suri Mukherjee?
So we both have the experience required to be good leaders. I was a brain power student leader in my 7th and 8th grade, which basically meant being a class rep, and I'm the current co-captain of my soccer team. And so ultimately, if you really think about it, everything comes down to you. What we do is based on what you want us to do. Leaders may be the ones with the power, but the people are the true decision makers.
I also have experience debating in 6th and 7th grade, and we are both people persons, and we really want to make sure we hear you guys. If your vote really counts, and if we're elected, we vow to do everything in our power to communicate with you guys and take your suggestions to help make them a reality. We want to make life at Stuyvesant funner and easier for you guys. Thanks for your time. We hope you'll vote for us on November 16th.
Does anyone else have any closing statements, or did everyone go? Okay, I guess I'll hand it off to Ava. Or
Yeah, so thank you all so much for coming to this debate. First of all, I'd like to thank Raymond and Matthew for being great debate moderators and keeping everyone in track. And also thank you to all of our eight campaigns today for coming, showing up, answering everyone's questions, and being involved and interested in our student government. Finally, thank you to all of our viewers who are here watching either over Zoom or maybe if you're watching on YouTube. Final reminders is that tomorrow we will be holding our second debate, which will feature the remaining 8 campaigns. So if you would like to hear what those campaigns have to say about their policies, their ideas, please make sure to come to that. It will be the same time as this debate, 5 o'clock, and that link will be posted on our Facebook page tomorrow. As well as that, we know that it might be hard for you to keep track of all the campaigns given the high number of them. So the Board of Elections has created a master list of all the campaigns, their names, their emails, and their social media sites and platforms. If you want to check that out, just so you can view them all in one place. That is, if you're a freshman, we have sent an email about that along with the debate information just a few days ago. And if you are not a freshman, but you still are interested in checking that out, you can find that on our Facebook page. Final reminder is that our election will be on November 16th, next Monday, on our voting site, vote.stisu.org, which is not up yet, but it will be up very shortly. So with that, I am going to conclude this debate. Thank you all so much, finally, and have a good day. Bye.